Yeah, boy.
Welcome, zombie apocalypse survivors. This is New Beginnings, episode 9, 7 Days to Die console edition. In this episode, I'm going to work a little bit on the base, do a little bit of mining to prep up for the 7-day horde. I believe that will be next episode, as I won't be able to fit it in this without cutting a lot of stuff. So I tried not to cut too much, but I did cut some, so it could be in the next episode. But what the plans are is to kind of check out the town a little bit more, try to do a little bit of looting in some of the houses, and wrench down maybe a few cars, trying to possibly find a engine, or at the very least a battery or two. Right now, the base is a conundrum for me. I'm trying to figure out exactly how I want to make it, and every time I put down a block, I look at it and I'm like, oh, I shouldn't have put that there. It's probably a bad idea. So I'm just kind of freewheeling it with this. It'll look like a Frankenstein build, but eventually it'll come together. I'm not really enjoying the whole bars being kind of in the center area in the middle. I almost feel like I should have just kept that all just like solid blocks or arrow slits. I just like the possibility of shooting down if they breach the outer perimeter, which I don't have erected yet, but that will come. Right now I'm just trying to get some height here, figure out where I'm going to put the ladder to go up, and I don't know if I'll have enough time to build a canopy over the top, but I should have at least the bottom outer wall ready for Horde Night. And I'm going to try the poles. I haven't done any testing. It's been a while since I played, but I'm pretty sure that if I do the poles, that at least the dogs will get through. I know the dogs can get through. Maybe the spiders, but I don't know if the zombies will get through or not. We'll see on that. I'm going to try it out. If it doesn't work out, there are other ways to kind of adjust. I can either put like hatch doors to kind of block a lot of, like, if crawlers can get through, I could do that, or I can just put a whole nother layer of poles, because they don't take a lot of space, behind it, kind of make a grid, so it hinders the melee, but it does protect, I'm pretty sure, from a lot of the creatures getting in, but we'll find out. We'll see what happens. It's been a while. I try to fill these guys up here. I'm still feeling pretty good about this run. Hopefully, I do find a few more things. It's good though that I have found the mining helmet. That's a really good plus, and I did get the forge up and running outside of the forge house. So at least I got cooking pot and grills if I need it, and forged iron, all that. That's really good to have. Kind of bummed I haven't found a workbench yet, so I feel like I'm going to have to create one. I think I talked about that last episode. I think it takes a wrench. Gotta double check that, but I only have one wrench, so I think this episode I'll kind of go bark at the moon there. Look at that. I'll go with wrenching as much as I can today before I use it. mean, I feel like wrenches are pretty common as long as I check the under the sinks of every place. And since I'm in a town, I'll have a lot better chance of finding another one. So I found a iron deposit with some lead as well, which is nice. The iron is definitely needed. I try to put in some support beams here, a couple pillars, because when there's dirt like this, the cave-in, even with a single wide, you can get a cave-in pretty easily, if I remember correctly. And cave-ins can kill you pretty easy. You just put like a few frames in there, even if they're unfilled pillar frames, it'll kind of keep the structure up. I'm not sure how that works. I think it's based on what blocks, what stability the blocks have on next to the blocks that are a lot weaker, like the dirt. It's not even really dirt, it's gravel, I guess is what you would call it. It's like the weakest block, so it's really easy to have that block crumble. Then you have like a really heavy block like iron fall on your head and you take a lot of damage. So I'll usually do a few pillars. It's not going to be pretty, but at this moment I don't really have time to make it look pretty. After the 7-day horde, I might do a little adjustment. I'm going to need to have my tools upgraded for that though. Thinking I'm going to definitely make a iron pickaxe. Not sure about an iron axe yet. I might wait until I can craft steel. If you get your quality Joe up, you can sometimes even find steel, like really good steel tools, but you gotta have like max quality Joe and like pretty close to max scavenging. You get both those up and you can find a lot of really good stuff. Yeah, I think from here I'll make some branching hallways. That'll kind of go away from the base. Yeah, I had to use the iron pickaxe. It's just too long with the the stone shovel. This makes it go a little quicker, and I have the iron now. After finding a deposit, I mean, it makes no sense for me not to at least craft iron pickaxes, you know. Get that miner 69er up too. Try to keep on top of that. With the traders, you can make a living off of just being a miner on here. You know, just mining up clay and iron, and you can make steel or iron, forged iron, to sell to the trader. It gives you a pretty good amount of money for it. I usually don't though. I usually use definitely find a use for all the steel. I kind of overkill on making the base with steel. So it's like you make the base concrete then steel, and then you decide to make your spikes out of the steel log spikes or whatever. I think that's still a thing. There we go. I can make the cement mixer. I see an engine now. Get that survivor up. seem to starve out a little quicker with the exertion. Make a couple of buckets, iron buckets. I'm gonna use that and scoop some water out of that that house with the red fence, the kind of like the manor house, I guess. I got a good amount of forged iron here. Let's keep that going. Alright, it's about time. Made the buckets so I can go scoop the water up, and then I'll make an infinite water source with that. You only need one bucket of water, but I always would like do two just in case you mess up with one bucket. And this still works with Alpha 21 on PC, by the way. Not as easily as it did, even with a new update on the water mechanics for PC. But you can just do like a 4x4, and I suggest using the not filled in frames, the what are they called, crafting blocks, or building blocks they're called, that are made out of wood, instead of going with the plywood solid like block. Go. Doesn't really look like I took any water out of there. Let's see what the second one does here. I can't remember. I remember it gets all wonky. I kind of changed it a little bit. I know it'll get really wonky like in the pool by the hotel. But the blocks on Alpha 21 PC are kind of like the crates that we have here, or the frames they call them, the frames. It's just not like it's not kind of with that bar in the center, if you understand what I'm trying to say. But those work really well, I noticed, because you it has to the water kind of has to go outside of that block a little bit before you scoop up the extra water. So it doesn't always work, but as long as you make sure when you pour the water in that 4x4 to use the bucket to pick up water from there first before using your jar, and if there's a little bit of water left over, then you can use your jars on that. It doesn't matter how many jars you have. You gotta have a stack of like 200, and that's if you have the jars mod. I didn't even mention that. If you dislike the dew collector in Alpha 21, there is a jars mod, and I did put that on my world when I last played. I think I've talked about this before, but I'm not really big into the whole dew collector change. I think that really kind of, I don't know, it took away from it. I know it's like extra things, but it kind of took away from what you're doing. I mean, I guess they consider it making it a little bit more challenging, but it's really not. Once you figure it out, it's pretty easy. You get like 5 dew collectors, and you have those dew collectors like away from your base somewhere, so the heat generation doesn't, like, unless you want them, the heat generation constantly like spawning screamers at your base. But you just put them like, you know, a chunk away from your base, and have them going, and you get more water than you could ever use per day. Make a lot of beef stew and all that. So I don't really see that as a hindrance. It's just more of a bottleneck going on later game. It's like the first line of quests you get from the trader. They give you the option for the water purifier, and usually you'll pick that instead of like the bicycle or whatever. I always pick the bicycle, even if I didn't have the jars mod, and just make the filter. But yeah, that's my piece on that. But if you do install the water jars mod on it, it does still work, the infinite. If you're going to try to do a playthrough on a map or something that somebody has that they didn't put any water on, or had very little like rivers and lakes. Gonna drop all this off here. Alright, back to the grind. So the very end of the town block, seems like most of the more important buildings are at that end versus where I put my base. But I like where my base is at for the trader and all that. It's like a short jog. Oh my gosh, he's asking for it. Get you later. I mean, if you stick around. Deal with Barney here. Ouch. He's a fighter. Yeah, nothing. I hear you. There you are. Oh, sneaky. Alright, let's see if we can get you. My terrible aim, we'll see. You're gonna be difficult, aren't you? There we go. Finally. Oh, just run into that house. Give me an easy shot. Come on. There we go. Can't pass that up. A little extra meat. Roll on up the block here. I keep my eye out. There's a little nurse. Hello, nurse. Kind of miss the nurse model from the new version of 7 Days to Die. It doesn't really make sense. I mean, nurses don't really dress like that nowadays, but I do miss the nurse. I mean, you can always think that she's really not a nurse and she's just dressed up as a nurse for Halloween in one of those like nurse outfits that you get from the novelty store or whatnot. Or she's like an OnlyFans. I don't even want to talk about that. I won't disgrace the nurse with that. Right, still checking these cars. I'm still stoked about my mining helmet. Pretty damn proud, but I gotta check the cars. You never know. Probably should be wrenching them, but I gotta check this poppin' pills out. I don't really have a lot of time, so I think I'm just going to beeline it straight for the back and see if I can't, if it has a chem station. If it does, oh man, that'll be worth it. The old pickaxe.
Nice.
Now that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, break it down a little bit. Don't destroy it. Okay, I'm playing with fire right there. All right, that is fantastic. So I don't have to worry about putting points into that for a while, or ever possibly. We'll see. I mean, I still haven't been a workbench, but that's okay. I mean, I think chem station, to buy it with points, to be able to make it, you have to have beakers and all that, but I am at a poppin' pill, so I should be able to get some beakers. But I think it does take quite a bit of points to unlock it, so I'd rather not spend the points on that first, and just have it on the cement mixer. And if I don't find the workbench by today, I think I'm just going to make it. I might just make it. After I wrench some cars, I think that's what I'm going to do. It's not that bad, and unlocking it's good, because, I mean, eventually you're going to want more than one workbench. I mean, late game, you know, to be one table to be making bullets and the other one to be making whatever. There you are, I heard you outside. Damn, I am just not connecting with you. There you go. It's kind of bobbing and weaving. It's kind of sad it took that many swings to hit a guy that is, well, it's a disabled zombie pretty much. I mean, come on, he's crawling towards me. You know what'd be kind of crazy that they never added as a, or at least I know the Fun Pimps haven't added it through any of the alphas, was, and there's a reason, it'd be freaky, is having the crawlers crawl at sprinting speed. Oh man, that would be freaky. Be like low profile dogs. I mean, I really shouldn't say anything. I don't want to give them any more ideas. It's a horrible idea. Don't ever do that, fun pimps. That's just a bad, stupid idea. That was a little easier than the last one. Can't pass up the hog though. I'm sorry, I have to chase it down. There's a problem with me here. I can't help it. I gotta chase down the pig. So I'm doing pretty good on meat. Oh man. So the dilemma is to loot or not to loot, and I really should have looted that poppin' pills, but like I said, I don't have too much time, and I would really like to get, if I could get an engine so I didn't have to go to the trader to do the cement mixing and have it mixing on Horde Day, it'd be pretty fantastic actually. I don't know if that's the best way to go about it, but it's the goal. It's a goal. We'll see what happens here. We've got a Shotgun Messiah and all that. A lot of stuff. Okay, let's see how you do this time. Yeah, getting better. Duct tape, will not pass up on the duct tape. Not at all. Give me that duct tape. Try to check the last of these cars here. If you're new, you come to this episode and you're wondering why I put the one piece of wood in the cars. It's for it to have a respawn, because I have items or containers to respawn. And in this game, if you're close by a container, even though you didn't look inside it for the amount of days, it will prevent it from respawning unless you put one item in there. You won't lose the item. It could be anything, a piece of fiber or a piece of wood. And you just got to kind of remember how many days you have it set for a loot respawn. And then you can pull that item out of there at the end of those days and wait for a second or two, and it'll show it's been untouched and you can re-loot it again. You could do that with your base at a POI. I mean, you could be inside the bunker and use all the cupboards and everything that are down there, the gun safe. Just if you remember to pull everything out that one day, it'll respawn items in there. And you don't lose anything. You won't lose any items putting it in there. That took a while for me to figure out. Yeah, it's not looking so pretty, but eventually this should be up to snuff, we'll say. The next episode will be, I'll kind of do a speed build, because I'm definitely going to hunker down. I've got pretty much all the resources I need now. I don't think I'm going to have to dig up too much stone. I think clay, I might have to go on a clay run or two. But other than that, I think it'll be building, and so I'll do kind of a speed build for the outside, and then have the Horde Night at the end there. Try to cut all that in to one episode. And it could go good, or it could go bad. We'll see what happens. I'm crossing my fingers. I have the idea of the layout, but it seems like every time I kind of go to work on it, I always like think, oh wait, I don't like that, I'm gonna redo it. So we'll see what happens. Whatever happens, it'll be okay. Gotta take that plastic. That plastic is so expensive. I mean, you make a lot of money just on the plastic to traders. Be a good little lump sum. Thinking I collect enough money here. I'm hoping to get a treasure map here. I was hoping to get one out of those coffins. Another one. Because I have a weird feeling I'm not going to find many bikes for dumb shits. So I might have to buy it. So hopefully if the trader restocks and has that, I'll have opportunity to buy it, or have the amount of dukes to buy it. That'll be worth it. Get this guy. Okay. Damn, I am just not connecting with his head. He's a big one. There we go. Nurse. It's a good combo. Get some moldy sandwiches and bandages, maybe? We'll see what happens. Nah. Yeah. Nothing. Guess had nothing. Except for animal fat. That's all you have. Shit, 2 animal fat. Wow. I feel like this guy, he should have had at least 2 animal fat. That's all that beer he's been drinking, you know? Well, not too shabby. A little forged iron. I'll take that. Got so many houses. Got a lot of houses to loot, for sure. And there's a bomb shelter here, too. I noticed. I was kind of bummed out. I didn't really notice it until I'd already started kind of building, and I'm like, oh man, I could have just done that. But you live and you learn. Plus, I kind of, like I said, I wanted to build something outside of a POI and not use a POI. I think I'd do that my next playthrough, is I'll do a POI. Try to grab all the feathers I can. That's gonna take some time too. I've got a lot of time for that. That is one must do, is crafting some arrows up. Wow, it's a drop off right there. It's kind of nice though. It's like a little road going that way. I have to check that out. Probably check that out after I've done a few visits to the trader, you know. Hopefully maybe get a mini bike, and then I can really explore. Kind of wish you could get the bicycle in this. I miss the bicycle. Oh man. It's a floating garbage. Gotta like the random seeds. You always get some weird shit going on. God, so many shops to check. There's a survivor camp there too. That has like a gun safe in it. I'll take this burning barrel. I'll take that. Start wrenching these guys down. And this is a little trick that I put in my Hoarder's Guide to Looting. If you want to keep the container cars like that, you can wrench them down to the very last and just leave it like that. Just make sure that you keep zombies away from it, because if they punch it a couple times, it could explode. But you can still get like engines and batteries from that. It won't show you wrenching up a battery or an engine half the time. I don't think it shows it most of the time. So you have to constantly check your inventory when you're wrenching cars, because you could very well get an engine or even two out of one wrenching of a car. But if you leave it to that last bit on the second stage cards, the ones that aren't like pristine, you still keep the container of it, and you also have a chance of getting some good parts, gas and all that. Like I got a battery from that last one. I was hoping there was a workbench in here, but oh well. Still has a lot of good stuff. Got some gas barrels, all that. I will take those. Be a little boost if I get the mini bike going. Then I can travel to the desert when I need more. And that's one thing too. If I have some time next episode, oh, here we go. That's even nicer mining helmet. The next episode, if I have some time, I think I'll hit this bank. Because the bank will have, I have to use the iron pick on it. It's going to take time too. We'll see. I'll definitely speed that up if I do, or when I do it. But those little safes have, pretty much what I'm looking for is schematics out of those. Because those little safes can spawn quite a few schematics. I mean, gun parts as well, but lots of cash and schematics you can get out of it. Actually, I feel like when I do those, it's more lucrative than crack a book. It's a lot slower, but like if you have a respawn world. Yep, see, this is the bomb shelter that I haven't checked out yet. I need to go down there too. That has a lot of loot down there. I could very well link the tunnel to that bomb shelter. I don't know. That might be a little too much work. But I do like this bomb shelter. It's a little pre-built. One of the playthroughs that I was doing before I started recording this was I did it out of one of those bomb shelters as a POI. I kind of cleared out the fencing around. I kept the shed and I opened that up a little bit, but I cleared all that fence around it and I kind of built up from there. So it looks kind of like the base that I'm creating now, except for that tunnel that goes down, goes into the bomb shelter. Now another battery. I am full up. I can't go anymore without dropping, so I need to unload this stuff. It's actually a pretty good, decent little town here. It's got a prison and bomb shelter, and popping pills, shotgun messiah. It has pretty much everything. I mean, I could say with this one seat alone, one town alone on this seat is pretty darn good. Just got to figure out where the other towns are, and then I'll make my take my final opinion on this map. But so far I'm enjoying it. Don't really enjoy the strips of blasted, or what do they call it, destroyed biome. But at least it's not covering half the map, which is good. And I know that there's snow and desert pretty close by, so that's really good also. I got to get to growing some crops as well. I'm going to be running out of food here if I don't. I mean, hunting-wise, it hasn't been too bad. I might not run out of food, but I'll probably burn through a lot of the food that I do have. I don't think I'll be able to find enough eggs to keep going without getting at least some vegetables growing. Some of that yucca growing. I'm thinking I'll put like a garden on the inside of the base, but it'll be kind of small. I'll see. That might not be a good idea, but we'll see. I don't have a lot of room, but on that bottom level, maybe I'll do a few like garden beds. Wrench down these cars here. A few options here. Man, it's not looking good, folks. Just need one engine. I don't even care. In fact, I hope if I do find an engine, that it's really low quality. I always hate that as the first engine for if you got like a high quality engine at the beginning, and you can make the cement mixer out of that high quality engine, and afterwards you get a bunch of really low quality for the mini bike. Like I remember I used to kind of save the good ones and then like wait for a crappier engine to make the cement mixer, but you just whatever one you get first, you should use it on cement mixer. Getting that going as soon as possible is always it's a good thing. Tell you what, I'm gonna have a lot of good electrical parts and gasoline from these guys. I'll come back and wrench down the fully destroyed cars later when I need the gas, a little bit more gas. Try to hunt down that engine. If I can get that engine before day 7. Getting a good amount of oil too, which is nice for the repair kit. Yeah, it's not looking good. Damn. Alright, check the map. Got most of it emptied out. But this is about where I'm going to cut it for episode 9. And thank you all for watching. And I'm going to see you in the next one. And hopefully that'll be Horde Night. But take care, survivors.